So in this question, we want to convert 212 in base 3 to a base 7 number. Now to do this, I'm not able to convert straight from a base 3 number to a base 7 number. What I need to do first of all is to convert our base 3 number to a number in base 10, and then change that number in base 10 to our base 7 number. So to start out this process, I want to start by doing 212 in base 3 and changing that to a number in base 10. So if I start out with 212 in base 3, I start out this process by putting down our first number, which is 2, and multiplying this by our base number, which this time is 3, to the power of 2. Remember, I start with 2 because there is 3 numbers in 212, and I always start with the power which is 1 less than the number of numbers in the number that I'm given. So I start off by doing 2 times 3 squared. Next, I put down the next number, which is 1, and again I multiply this by our base number, which is 3, and this time it's to the power of 1. Remember, I take 1 away from the power each time. So this part will read as 1 times 3 to the power of 1. And finally, I put down our last number, which is 2. Again, I multiply this by our base number, which is 3, and this time it's to the power of 0. Again, I'm taking 1 away from the power each time. And again, this line is really important, and again I have to remember that my final power should always be 0. Next, I can just tidy up, and 3 squared is 9, 3 to the power of 1 is 3, and 3 to the power of 0 is 1. Be careful, 3 to the power of 0 is not 3, 3 to the power of 0 is 1. Again, I can tidy this line up, and 2 times 9 is 18, 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 1 is 1, which means my final answer, when I add this up, is 212 in base 3 is also the same as 23 in base 10. So the next part of this process is to change our base 10 number to a base 7 number. So if I start off by doing 23 in base 10, and I want to change this to a base 7 number, and to do this, what I want to do is work out how many times our new base number, which is 7, goes into 23. Now we know that 7 goes into 23 3 times, with 2 left over. So I can write this as 23 in base 10 is 7 times 3 plus 2. And then what I want to do to continue the process is to bring down our 3, which is our number in this position, down into the front position. And then what I want to do is work out how many times our base number, which is 7, goes into 3. Now we know that 7 doesn't go into 3, so I can multiply this by 0 and then add on 3. So I can write this as 3 equals 7 times 0 plus 3. Now this line is really important because when I'm multiplying my base number by 0, then I can stop the process. Now to get my new number in base 7, what I need to do is to read my remainders from bottom to top, and that will give me my new base number. So my new base number will be 3, 2 in base 7. So this means that 23 in base 10 is the same as 3, 2 in base 7. So my final answer to this question, to convert 212 in base 3 to a base 7 number, is 212 in base 3 is also the same as 23 in base 10, which is also 32 in base 7.